Well, here they are. It's definitely warm enough for them. As soon as I come in here, I can take my jacket off. So 2 weeks old. Let me get that out of the way. So today is 2 weeks to the day since we got them. For some of them, we got two different groups, but they were all within a day or so of each other. So they're all approximately the same age. They probably were at the store at the same time. They probably have a hatch date either the same or within a day of each other. So they're all growing at about the same rate. So there's still some really small ones that you see in there, but those are bantams. Okay, these are our full-size ones. These are, I believe, the Orpingtons. I think lavender Orpingtons. Bantam right there. The ducks are getting big. Ducks still have all their pin feathers. I'm sorry, their down feathers, but they're starting to, I can see them changing up a little bit today. As you can see, the chicks are getting more feathered. Their pin feathers are coming in. And this happens, like I said, this happens week 1. You start seeing a little bit, some tips of their feathers coming in at the end of their wings. And so week 2, I won't say that their wings are almost entirely feathered. They're probably about half. But there is a noticeable difference in them and when the feathers come in. And they're not, they're not the little puffballs that they were in week 1. They grow pretty fast. So even regular egg layers grow pretty fast. They change quickly, and it's very interesting to watch. And you can see how they're flying around. You can see why we needed a top on this, and that's just a little bit. So I said in the other video that by week 3 or 4, they'll be able to fly up and perch up here or jump out. And so, yeah, this is week 2. And if I left this off, there's a good chance that some of them might be able to get up here. So definitely by week 3, you need to have I'd say week 2, you need to have a cover on your brooder. I switched up the feeder. I bought this one really for the ducks, and I just wanted to try it out before I get the ducks and have it in here with the chicks. So it's a trough feeder, but it has this bar on the top that turns around so they can't stand on it and poop in it like that. Yep, disgusting. I'm grabbing chicken poop, yep. That's what you do when you're a farmer or homesteader. So this has worked out pretty good. I don't see too much poop in there, and like I said, it has that thing, that bar across it that swivels to keep them out. I got it for the ducks though, so the ducks can get their beaks in pretty easily when I get them at next week. Yeah, so we'll be getting the ducklings next week. So we are not giving them the magic water anymore, the water that was mixed with the garlic, honey, and apple cider vinegar. So we're not doing that anymore. We still do the apple cider vinegar. If we forget one day, that's okay. It's not absolutely mandatory. Some people don't give it every single jug of water. Some people give it once a week or once every couple weeks. Some people do it every single day. It's okay. Just a splash of apple cider vinegar in here is good. Build their immune system. And we still give it to our full flock. So even beyond the brooder, we give the apple cider vinegar to our full-grown flock. Helps fight off things, anything I can do to help with the avian flu is going around again, the bird flu is going around again. I just heard yesterday, and I've heard it looks like it's been in the news for the past few years, so I don't know if there's any truth to it or not. Over in I think it's the UK. If you have any chickens, even 2, if you have any backyard chickens, you have to register them with the government. I could completely see that happening here in the U.S. I could believe that would happen. So whether or not there's any truth to it, I don't know. I just read about it yesterday, and I tried to look up a bit different articles on it, and it looks like it goes back. There's an article for this year saying by such and such a date. There's an article for 2023. There's an article back in 2015. So is this just one of those things that just keep one of those, a myth that keeps getting pushed? And I have no idea. So that's the UK though. I could definitely see it happening here in the U.S. though, absolutely, because I know when the bird flu was going around, the avian flu was going around, they were, you know, eliminating flocks of chickens. I don't know if they're doing it for small homesteads like us, but I certainly wouldn't be willing to register my chickens. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. This is a happy video about chicks. That's what we're doing. Happy video about chicks. Yeah, and there's the little chicken eater. He has been trying to warm back up to me for the past few days because he has been scared to death of me, keeping away from me. No, I did not hit him in any way. I did not abuse him. I was angry though, and he knew I was angry. So he's been trying to be a good boy. And this is the dog that Rip is my brother-in-law's dog, and I haven't really bonded with him much, but my brother-in-law's been away in California for some family business for, geez, I think a month now. And Rip has been turned out to be a good dog. He's a very mellow lab. I was not excited to have a lab in the house because I know how hyper they can be. He is a big dog, biggest dog we've had. He's a very, very big lab. This one was the one I fell in love with as a puppy, and he's been nothing but a pain in the neck. I even made a video about him. I even made a video about you, praising you. He's been nothing but a pain in the neck, and he's been lifting his leg on everything. Even this morning, kitchen table in the house. Yeah, I think he's doing it because he's doing it because he's marking his territory. So he doesn't realize it yet, but we're already making phone calls to vets. So I wasn't planning on getting him fixed anytime soon, only because it would have been the first dog that we didn't get fixed. Let me grab one of these little puff balls for you and show you how they're looking up close. So this is one of our bantams. So she is still really, really tiny. Okay, she's still really small, but you can see her pin feathers coming through. So the down feathers are still puffy and cute, but you can see her pin feathers coming in there. So her regular feathers are coming through. She's going to be a pretty cool color. This is the first time we've purchased bantams and had no idea what breed they were. My wife got these from one of the feed stores, not sure. So you can see how her wings, see how there's basically a notch. It looks like 2 sections to each wing. That's a good sign, I think. That would indicate a hen, a female. I don't know how accurate it is, how 100% accurate it is, but it's a good sign. I don't know. I'll take it. I don't know if it's 100% accurate or not, but I'll take it. So anyways, yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out what breed she is, and looks like she's going to be some pretty cool colors. So still growing. So the bantams stay small, so that's why she looks like a 1-day-old chick of the regular size chicks. But she's at 2 weeks right now. Go ahead, sweetie. Go ahead. Yeah. So then you've got the full-size chicks. I wish I could remember the breeds. I used to be so into it, and I know that eye gives away the breed pretty good, but I can't remember what breed it is. So she also, and I keep calling them she because that's what I'm hoping for, hens. Her feathers are coming in pretty good as well. I see the notch on there as well, so hopefully that's a good indication. I see the notch in the wings. The feathers aren't straight across, and the feathers straight across supposedly indicate a male, and the notch in them indicate a female, supposedly. I've tried it in the past. I don't know if I could tell or not. She's got some pretty cool coloring as well, so it'll be interesting to watch her grow. It's interesting to watch them morph into what they're going to look like as adults, you know. It's really cool to watch the chickens grow. It's great, even if you just want a little backyard flock. You know, if you've got some young kids and you want to get 4 hens just for your backyard, just to watch them grow and have some eggs, it's great for kids to watch them grow. They're super sweet, you know. They're very easy to take care of, and they can handle all kinds of weather. So it doesn't matter what region of your country that they live in. They can handle all kinds of weather. She's got a little puffy face that would indicate Americana, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not going to try and even speculate yet. But yeah, so that's the 2-week mark, what they look like. And here's the 2-week mark of the ducks, and you can see their wings are tiny. And they stay small for a long time, and then all of a sudden, boom, they get huge. The ducks are funny to watch how they grow. Their wings stay really small. Ducks are a little bit more intense, not intense, but there's a little more to them to take care of. And we will discuss that in our duck video. So they are adorable. So that's a 2-week-old runner duck. So, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have ducklings next week. We'll have them in the other brooder, and we'll do videos on that, and we'll talk about the nutrition, the protein needs, the mineral needs, because they are different than chickens, slightly. So that's the 2-week mark. You can see the Polish, the one with the funky hairdo there. It was just a little puffball last week. Looked like a little cotton ball on the head. Now he looks like, I don't know, my instant reaction is like 1980s spiky hairdo, right? That we all had. Just kind of throw some gel in your hair, mess it up. That's what he looks like now. Or she. Hopefully she. Here's another one, another Polish over there. Here's another one coming up to the camera. He was walking up to the, hopefully she was walking up to the back side of the camera. So that looks like maybe a Polish right there, still with a puffball. Like I said, my wife went out and got so many. I usually write down all the breeds, snap a picture of the sign if we get them in a feed store. So we'll figure them out as they grow. We will figure them all out. So you can see different sizes, different growth rates for certain ones, and it's all within a couple days old. You know, they're all within a couple days. That one there has a little bit more of her pin feathers coming through, and still a puffy hairdo. So 2-week mark. The only thing that's changed as far as the nutrition goes. Okay, you being a good boy? The only thing that's changed as far as the nutrition goes, yeah, you're a good boy. You've been better than Aspen, I'll tell you that. Is nutrition is the water. So we're not giving the that like we call it the magic water, what are you gonna call it? The supplemental water, the boost. We're not giving that. We're just giving water with some apple cider vinegar, and yes, still the niacin for the ducks. Because we have the ducks, niacin need it for their, the ducks need the niacin for their leg growth. So we're adding niacin to the water. Chicks need niacin as well. They just don't need the amount that ducks need. So the niacin, the amount of niacin that's in Chick Starter is plenty for chickens. They don't need any additional niacin. The feed is still the same. We're still giving 20% Chick Starter, and we're probably just going to continue that up until, you would normally continue that up until they start laying. And once they lay their first egg, you would change it to layer feed. We haven't done that for our other chickens, but that's kind of a different topic. I'm sure some people will agree and some people will disagree. We haven't done it with our full-size flock. I talked to someone who raises and shows chickens, and they said they feed the highest possible protein all the time, and because they're free-ranging. When they're free-ranging, they're eating more bugs, grass. They're not getting, supposedly, I mean, the bugs are protein, but supposedly they're not getting as much protein as they may need. So I was told, hey, if you're going to free-range them, just keep them on the 20% and give them the oyster shells for the calcium that they need. That way the roosters aren't eating layer feed and getting too much calcium. Roosters can't eat high amount of calcium, so they're not supposed to eat layer feed. It will eventually calcify their bones. They have all kinds of calcium growths on their bones. I don't know, so So right now they're on 20% chick starter. They'll stay on that for the foreseeable future. So that's 2 weeks, and we'll check back in. Probably 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. We'll check back in again and just do quick update videos. They're still on the heat lamps. They'll be on the heat lamps the entire time they're in the brooder. They'll be in the brooder at least 6 weeks, maybe 7 because I have different ages in here. So maybe 7 weeks total from the start date. And I'll keep the heat lamps on the whole time because they can choose to be under them or away from them. As you see right now, they're still choosing to be under them, but they're not afraid to walk away. They don't need the heat on them 100% of the time, just most of the time. So you need to keep it on 100% of the time, but they'll walk out from under it when they choose to. And that's why I like having the big size brooder. So real quick, talking about the brooder. I was on one of the Facebook pages, chicken pages, this past week, and most of the Facebook chicken pages I don't typically care for as far as getting information from, only because a lot of them are, good point. A lot of them are people that raise chickens as pets, not necessarily from a farmer's point of view. And so I've read things about, I've seen pictures of people having chickens, cuddling with them in their beds. I've read about some lady posted that she had her chicken euthanized the night before. To each his own, I guess. Different point of view than mine, obviously. But anyways, this week, someone posted a picture of their meat birds, their Cornish cross meat birds, raised in a brooder that they got from Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply, I got both the dogs here with me. Yeah, I got Rip, who's been a good boy, and I got Aspen, who's trying to apologize to me. Tractor Supply has these brooders. They have a metal floor like this that the poop can fall through, and there's no bedding in it, so you don't have the pine chips. It's very industrial looking. It has plexiglass walls and a plexiglass roof to it. They're stackable, so you can buy multiple ones. I saw a picture of someone who had multiple layers of these brooders, like multiple stacked, like 3 or 4 stacked on top of each other. I think, don't quote me on this, Tractor Supply was doing that for a while in these brooders. When you went into the store, they had these chicks in these brooders, but there's something with either too much heat or not enough. A lot of people complain that it didn't heat up enough. The heat source wasn't good enough inside of them because they have the heat plates in them. They were losing a lot of chicks that way. So Tractor Supply, from what I understand, stopped putting their chicks in those and started putting them back in the metal water troughs that they have, the stock tanks, with bedding. So a bunch of people went on that particular page and that post. I kept track of it. And they kept saying how awesome the brooder was and, oh, no mess. But the chickens can't, I showed you in the week 1, they were scratching and pecking, and they well, not right this minute, but they do it more and more and more as the time goes on. They scratch through there. So if you're raising them on this type of floor, there's nothing that they're scratching through. So I don't know, and it's not like there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? Obviously. As I've mentioned before, I am a believer in the Joel Salatin method of small farming. And he has his sayings that if you've read any of his books, he believes in allowing the pig to show the pigness of the pig, the chickenness of the chicken, things like that. In other words, let them do what they do. Even if I'm gonna be harvesting the particular animal, I want them to live as close to a natural situation as possible. I want my chickens to scratch, peck, hunt. I will do that with my meat birds. They will be free ranging, and they'll be able to scratch and peck all day, hunt for bugs. When I look at those brooders, they just scream industrial farming. It's like, what are you doing? Are you I mean, I guess if you're just raising them and you're like, hey, they're just chickens, so what? Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'm still a bit soft-hearted when it comes to all animals, including my own livestock, including the livestock that I'm going to harvest for our freezer. I'm still a bit soft-hearted. I want them to be as comfortable and happy as possible, and I want them to live a life that's as close to nature as I can provide. So I believe in the pine shavings for bedding. I believe in letting them live the way as close to they would out in nature if they were, living out in a forest. They're happiest living in the woods. I want to give them something to do, something to scratch. I couldn't imagine putting them in a brooder with this type of floor and nothing for them to scratch through. It's just not. I don't know. I don't believe in it personally. It just seems very odd. And so many people were commenting on how easy it would be to clean. And it's not about how easy it is for you. Yes, you want to make homesteading, farming, raising livestock, you want to make it as convenient and easy as you can. But in my opinion, not by sacrificing what's best for the animals. That's just my opinion. So I'm not all about making it. My priority is the health and well-being of my livestock, not what's convenient for me. That's my priority. Priority 2 would be what's convenient for me. I was in the Marine Corps. I spent 6 years on active duty in the Marine Corps, and the motto was the priorities were mission accomplishment and then troop welfare, in that order. Mission accomplishment, troop welfare. If your troops are miserable, too bad, suck it up. The mission comes first. Once you've accomplished that mission, or you're in the process of accomplishing that mission, yes, troop welfare is a close second. Take care of your troops, their health and well-being and motivation. So for me, it's the same thing on the farm. Mission accomplishment is taking care of the chickens and making sure they're healthy and happy, and then my welfare comes second. So that's just my opinion. I'll post some pictures of that brooder that I saw, and you can make your own decisions about it, your own opinions about it. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on raising the chicks, and the dogs will I'm sure be here too.